Well, finally doing another death battle reaction. I haven't been doing these as many because sometimes I don't know anything about the combatants and I'm really not invested. And sometimes I do, but I haven't kept up with the franchise, so I'm afraid of spoilers, like with Master Chief. I haven't played Halo 5 in Infinite yet, so I skipped the whole rematch with Doom Guy. And then sometimes I do know who the characters are, but I don't know who to root for. Not this time. I am Team Coyote all the way, because Tom and Jerry, I don't know, as I've grown older, kind of lost its appeal. I look back and it was something you watched, because it was something zany that was on. But Coyote and Roadrunner, oh yeah, the whole Looney Tunes gang, still love them, classic stuff, never gets old, and especially Wile E. Coyote trying to catch the Roadrunner. I remember some maintenance guy at work whining about, yeah, they don't make any Coyote and Roadrunner cartoons. It'd probably be too politically incorrect. And I was like, no, you dope. They still make them. As recently as a few years ago. My personal favorite was the one that was an obvious spoof of Iron Man, just kind of giving the middle finger to Disney's copyright lawyers. But anyway, let's go. 3, 2, 1, yeah!
Fight! Wile E. Coyote, the fastest and furriestest of the Looney Tunes.
Tomcat, the
Fastest
powerhouse
and the
pussycat from Tom
fast and
Jerry.
Fans voted
furriest.
for it and we're here to do it.
I see what you did there.
Boomstick.
That was a
And
title
it's our
of a
analyze
Heathcliff
the armor
cartoon.
and
No,
skills to find out who
Wii
will
racing
win
game,
a
by the
death
way.
battle.
Not very creative. Come on, do better.
In tales told over a shimmering campfire by the tribes people of North America, there was no figure so cunning, so bold as Coyote. To the Miwok, he was a Prometheus who stole fire from the heavens to give to humanity. To the Sewetmuk, he was a foolish trickster who could die and return to life.
And to the brothers Warner, he's just a poor dumb schmuck who can't catch a break.
To this day, the great Coyote
See, there's the
stalks
CG
American Southwest,
more recent ones
hunting
I was
his
talking
indefatigable
about.
prey, the Roadrunner. And this modern Wile E. Coyote is driven by a ruthless entrepreneurial
5'8",
spirit.
kind of tall for a
and he
Looney Tune
drove him straight off
character.
a cliff. He'll chase that bird-shaped happily ever after to his own inevitable undoing. Such is the lot of the common man.
You might not expect it from an anthropomorphic canine Job, but Wiley was born the son of world-famous hunter Cage E. Coyote. His father
Cage
raised
E.
him from infancy to hound his avian adversary.
Clever.
And forbade him to speak until he tasted victory. On the face, an easy task. Coyotes are incredibly adaptable predators, capable of hunting in both rural and urban environments.
There was even some coyote
They're also
attacks
speedy little
in the
demons.
beaches,
They can
not
sprint it up to
too far from where I
43 miles per
live.
hour. Though that's cold comfort when that blue meeping bastard can make beams of light look stone still, or outrun a car that was moving fast enough to travel through time.
Frankly, it's incredible that Wiley manages to consistently keep up with his prey at all. But he does.
No, really, it's actually stated that only a, quote, tiny little extra burst of speed separates the Coyote and the Roadrunner. Heck, Bugs Bunny himself needed to take super speed supplements in order to move fast enough to outrun Wiley.
But almost as fast isn't fast enough. Fortunately, Wiley's got an endless assortment of gadgets, gizmos, and reams of blueprints
That don't
to
really
make a
work.
difference.
He's got your classics like dynamite,
God,
anvils,
look
and
at this.
loaded boxing gloves, along with heavier artillery like heat-seeking
What
missiles,
hasn't he
a 10
used?
billion volt electromagnet, and a friggin' trebuchet, a Reddit favorite.
Many of which he invented himself and uses in excruciatingly detailed schemes that inevitably go awry. Despite being a self-described super genius, Wiley has an officially measured IQ of 3.
That's the same IQ as a cactus.
Okay, the test results were fake, but he's still an idiot.
So why not let a soulless corporation do the hard work for him?
Acme sells any product that you can imagine, and Wiley is their most devoted customer, contributing up to 99% of its multi-billion-dollar revenue.
Thanks for the inherited wealth, Pops. Oh, don't worry, I'm spending it all in one place.
He's got an Acme Book of Magic, Acme Clone-O-Matic, Acme Death Ray, Acme City in a Box, Acme Universal Remote, which can pause, fast forward, and rewind a person through time.
Too bad half the stuff Wile uses is intentionally sabotaged because Acme's board of directors is exclusively Roadrunners.
Damn, this is some deep lore.
He sure can take some punishment.
No matter the severity of his failures, Wile is still a toon and can bounce back from just about anything.
He's been sliced, stabbed, squashed, exploded, melted, blasted into a constellation, and overall verbed for the last 87 years straight without ever actually dying. He once got fully disintegrated into ash and popped back up like it was nothing.
Similar to the immortal Coyote of Sewetmuk legend.
He's also shattered the fourth wall tons of times and even left the comic page entirely to catch the Roadrunner. Ah, so close.
Believe it or not, there is actually a biological reason for these abilities. Looney DNA. Every toon's got it, not just the loony ones. And it's what lets them survive fatal damage up to being fully erased off the page, essentially dictating their personal slice of reality to whatever is funny.
Like how gravity
The whole
only
Toon
affects
Force
the
that was
Coyote when he looks
hypothesized.
down.
Toons are immune to the laws of physics as we know them.
That's why Wile developed a counter to this immortality, the Looney DNA Dissolver, which leaves toons vulnerable to fatal wounds the same way we are. Yet again, so close. You can't say he hasn't tried everything.
It was Wile's experience as a veteran toon that landed him a job at Acme University as department
Oh,
chair
the
of the
Tiny
School of Hard
Toon
Knocks,
relaunch.
teaching up-and-coming Tiny Toons
I
how to
haven't
use their
watched
abilities.
that
Okay, so
either.
Naruto.
And just like Naruto's jutsus, Toon Force works like an actual
Naruto versus
power
Bugs
system,
Bunny
with
when?
more experienced toons like Wile who are more powerful than their younger counterparts.
And that means Wile should be capable of replicating feats and abilities performed by any other Looney Tune, like traveling between different mediums or altering the plot of the cartoon he's in.
And my favorite was the time Plucky Duck used Marvin the Martian's matter transmogrifier to suck up the entire universe.
And then suck up the animator animating his universe.
And then suck up the animator's universe for good measure.
Wiley's got a cushy 10-year job teaching that stuff. Impressive for an abject failure at his life mission. He's helped stop a meteor from destroying Earth, beat the Monstars in basketball, and even, oh snap, caught the Roadrunner! Oh wait, never mind. So
I remember that one.
According to 1977's Tweety and Sylvester issue 67,
Yeah, that was a
Wile E.
comic a
Coyote
bit before
has
my
attempted
time.
to catch the Roadrunner 4,776,842 times. Scaling to the present, that's over 10 million failures.
that takes dedication, or maybe self-destructive stubbornness. Too blinded by bird lust to see the forest for the trees.
But Acme's intentional
Okay, don't go
malfunctions
overboard
and
with
Coyote's
psychoanalyzing
recklessness
this.
don't account for all of his catastrophes. There's something else, something grander, otherworldly, standing in the way of our furry friend's salvation.
Wiz, there's no other way to say it. God is just plain out to get this guy.
And by God, we mean the closest thing that exists for Coyote and Roadrunner. Chuck Jones.
The guy that created him and helped forge the Looney Tunes into how we know him today.
Originally meant to be a parody of earlier chase cartoons like, well, Tom and Jerry, Jones established several rules for their animated shorts that superseded Coyote's reality warping toon abilities.
Rules that cover his obsession, faulty products, and the fact that no outside force, not even the Roadrunner, is to blame for his defeat. Just him.
While other creatives have altered this formula in the decades since Jones's departure, these rules have effectively made the Coyote's defeats cosmically ordained.
God nerfed Wile E. Coyote. In all our years making Death Battle, we have never seen a handicap like that.
But what else can you expect from our fanatical furry fail son? He's the Sultan of Slapstick, the CEO of Second Place, the swing and a miss superstar. As long as he picks himself back up and dusts off the ashes, that'll never be all, folks, for Wile E. Coyote.
Splat.
The year was 1939. War raged in Europe between the British Tommies and the German Jerrys. As the beleaguered English made their miraculous escape from the German encirclement off the coast of Dunkirk, one might have called the battle a game of cat and mouse?
Oh wow, is that actually where their names come from? I'm looking this up.
Regardless of their names' origin, William Hanna and
Okay,
Joseph
that's a bit of
Barbera's
trivia I
infamous
didn't
cat and
know.
mouse duo became the undisputed kings of slapstick comedy.
The formula is simple, and we all know it. Tomcat chases Jerry Mouse around the house. Brutal, bone-shaking, I felt that in my balls violence ensues, and Tom is reprimanded by Mammy Two Shoes.
Who is let's say very much from the 1940s.
And if you're like me, all you wanted to see was Tom wipe that smug smirk off that little rat's face. Despite my well-documented hatred of cats, even I've got to cringe at years of propaganda to convince us to side with the filthy, flea-ridden rodent over man's second best friend.
Oh, shut up.
Oh, be
Rats
gone.
are the best
Cats like Tom are
pets
actually
I've
some of the
ever
most
had.
successful predators. They can run up to 30 miles per hour, leap 6 feet high,
Boingy, boingy.
and despite being commonly perceived as nocturnal, they're actually crepuscular and hunt in the dawn and evening.
Tom specifically is a British Shorthair. They're strong, stocky Roman cats bred to withstand harsh conditions. And for Tom, harsh conditions is an understatement.
Tom has collected a crazy assortment of weapons in his war against mousekind. Sure, most of it is the stuff you can find around the
Wow,
household,
that's
like
quite an
baseball
extensive
bats,
list as
lead
well.
pipes,
And guns, lots and lots of guns. But he's got wackier things like a magic wand, a robo-cat, vanishing cream, and a smart cap that gives him all the knowledge in the world.
I'm partial to the Sword of Light and Dark, which severs you from your own shadow, or the Rewind,
What?
which can move your victim backwards through time.
And you can't forget the
Okay,
cat
so that
dog and
counters
cat
this
jet.
similar thing
Well,
that Wile E.
of
Coyote
course, that is
has.
the cat part.
Tom's arsenal is heavily improvisational, which fits his quick thinking in fights over Thanksgiving turkey. Though he often loses his bouts with Jerry, it's not usually because he's dumb or incompetent. Rather, he's just genuinely outplayed.
And even in defeat, he's one tough son of a gun. He's been crushed, blown up, had every bone in his body broken, shattered, melted, and vaporized to dust, and survived.
Well, mostly. Tom actually has kicked
What?
the bucket multiple
Guillotine?
times, but little known cat fact, he has 9 lives, as established in the episode Heavenly Puss.
I read that as Heavenly Puss at first.
Some different kind of
Ew.
research when he stumbled on that episode.
Very funny. Even if Tom starts to use his lives up, he has a potion that just restores them.
Or he can physically go get them back from hell. Where all cats go.
Extremely hardcore for a tune, but there isn't much of a limit to what Tom can do. He can clone himself, levitate in the air, make his imagination real, and even break the fourth wall and enter the real world.
Yeah, if you only watch the classic cartoons from the 40s, you may be in for a shock. Tom and Jerry gets buck wild, much like the
Well, I did watch the
inspiration for
Adventure
their
of Tom
name.
and Jerry
Did you Google?
Kids when I
You're
was
still on this?
a kid in the early
Decoy Whiz. They were
90s.
actually named after the two characters in Pierce Egan's delightful life in London, Jerry Hawthorne and Corinthian Tom. It was adapted to the stage with the title Tom and Jerry, which later became a catch-all term in 1800s.
Oh,
England
the
for
Robert
young,
F. Downey
drunken
Jr.
rabble-rousers.
Sherlock
One
Holmes
could,
movie.
in fact, say that many
I like
rivals
that.
were roused
The
the
sequel
time
sucked,
Tom
though.
destroyed a planet-busting asteroid, lifted up the sun, and was blown up into a constellation. And he was just fine. Just a bunch of stars now, but he's okay.
Not to mention become an eldritch, Cthulhu-ish horror.
The Stone Age and has run through space at massively faster than light speeds.
What the hell?
Shouldn't
Was
be
that some
surprised
friggin'
when he
mobile
and Jerry
game?
have been at each other's throats for over 80 years now. But what may surprise you is the fact that at the end of the day, they're actually friends.
And they've worked together tons of times to save the day, like when they helped a little orphan.
Okay,
girl,
that's the
Robin
movie I
Sterling, find her way
remember.
home. Oh, that's a nice end to their story.
Don't you believe it? Now is when we have to talk about Tom and Jerry Chase. Long ago, the warrior god, Lord of Sichuan, Erlong Shen, battled the tricksy and indomitable Mouse King atop Peach Mountain, leading the goddess Celeste to declare the two the strongest warriors in the realm. And they were, in fact, Tom and Jerry. They were even
We should have had this shit in that last
stronger
Assassin's Creed
who repelled
game.
corruption by the darkness. This mysterious, malevolent force threatened to consume the Tree of Life, whose branches encompass all of time and space. Banding together, these
Wow,
warriors used the
this
star
lore
to
is
dispel the
going
darkness and save the
places.
universe.
What the fuck?
While it may sound completely insane, it is. Chase is a Chinese mobile gacha game whose lore is not entirely in keeping with the spirit of the source material. However, it is officially licensed by Warner Brothers Interactive Entertainment, which means we have to include it in our research.
So that the gods may grant us mere mortals some heavenly punch.
No.
Friendly rivalry aside,
Of
though,
course
Tom
you
has
did,
actually
with
managed to
Broomstick, of
catch
course
the
you
little rat
did.
fair and square a few times.
By my count of the original short, sports 19 times.
I could watch him on repeat forever.
I
Too
couldn't.
bad he's still a filthy
Give me-
feline. The
give me
only
Wile E.
kitty I
Coyote
truly
and
respect
Roadrunner
is
any
named
day.
after booze.
Well then, you're in luck, because the Tom and Jerry of English literature later became the namesake for a famous Christmas cocktail.
Because there's no better way to get absolutely trashed than with good old Tom and Jerry.
All right, the combatants are set, and we've run the data through all possibilities.
It's time
What
for
game was
a
that
death
from?
battle!
Alright, finally. Yeah, that is actually the genus name for mice. Mus musculus. Professor's victimus. Well, he is. You jackass. Meet me. Schmuck. Well, the rocket worked! Fight! And they team up and... Come on, he talks when he's with Bugs Bunny. Ow. Ow, felt that one. Screen wrap!
Come on, you apes! You wanna live forever!
Apes together, strong! The fat. Couldn't even upgrade it. Now we have stealth bombers and shit. Never mind, that was still effective. All over the Southwest, why not? And of course we gotta do that. You gotta get that in there. Right out of the YouTube video. I guess you can't let Deadpool have all the fun. Congratulations, you can read. Okay. Well, rationalizing this is going to be a bit of a bitch.
Wile E. Coyote, super genius.
Yay, he technically wins one.
Oh, thank God one of them actually died this time. I mean, no! Animal cruelty, no!
Considering coyotes eat cats, I'm not surprised.
While both Cat and Coyote
Well, same
were
with
incredibly
Fox,
powerful,
McCloud, and Bucky
they weren't
O'Hare, I
literal
suppose.
gods who could snap their problems away. They had limitations and weaknesses that could be exploited, especially by each other. Let's first talk their stats.
Both were strong enough to contend with universe-threatening phenomena, but comparing Wile E. to Plucky Duck, Looney Tunes can not only destroy their own universe, but but they're animators as well.
And while Tom could move faster than light, Wile could keep up with the Roadrunner, who could outspeed a car fast enough to travel through time. That's immeasurably fast, and much faster than Tom. Wile gets the edge instead.
Yeah!
Wile's arsenal was a bit better too, believe it or not. Even eliminating the devices that have been shown to malfunction, he still countered everything Tom had.
The biggest being the Looney DNA Dissolver, which could render Tom's cartoony healing factor moot and end the fight.
While Tom has never been shown to have Looney DNA specifically, the concept clearly has nothing to do with actual DNA molecules.
Looney Tunes have been erased completely and still returned, so it's clearly something more fundamental to their essence.
And since the Dissolver works on any tunes, not just the Looney ones, it should apply to Tom. But considering how much of a screw-up Wile is, it wasn't a sure bet. Hell, it could have backfired, especially considering how much more competent Tom is.
When it came to intelligence, Wile's engineering and scheming genius were often defeated by his own ego and stubbornness. Tom, on the other hand, was consistently more flexible, pragmatic, and victorious in his fights. He definitely gets the edge there.
Oh, and Tom has one other big advantage. He doesn't have God nerfing him.
And that's the big question. Was Tom capable enough to benefit from Wile's narrative-enforced bad luck and see the DNA Dissolver backfire against him?
That bad luck is a core part of Wile's character as a cartoon. So let's call it his, toonliness.
To find the answer, we dug deep through the bowels of Looney Tunes lore and ended up in an unexpected place. Space Jam.
Oh
Where
boy.
Wile yet again fails against the Roadrunner, but against the villains of the movie, the Monstars, he actually scores.
And scores again in the sequel, more than anyone else. But according to Chuck Jones's rules, that shouldn't happen, right?
Throughout his entire history, Wile's cosmically ordained failures only occur when he's specifically chasing the Roadrunner, or other tunes the plot bends around like bugs, because that's what Chuck Jones's rules were written for, Coyote and Roadrunner cartoons.
And even then, looking closely, they've been broken a few times throughout the decades, even during Chuck Jones's tenure.
Without the universe nerfing him, there's no reason to think Wile couldn't eventually land a hit with the Looney DNA Dissolver.
Especially when the only reason it failed was because of the Roadrunner's intervention, a direct violation of Chuck Jones's limitations on the Coyote.
And especially when it's the only thing that either one had that could kill the other.
Despite lacking Wile's narrative impediments, and despite having a better track record overall, Tom ultimately had no surefire way to kill Wile, whereas Wile's superior strength, speed, and Looney arsenal ensured his victory.
Wow, you went Mega Man X at one
And
point.
left Tom Jones in for a rematch.
The winner is Wile.
Yeah, my
Next time,
Coyote
on Death
won.
Battle.
What the hell? Miles Morales? Versus who? Oh, My Hero Academia, which I've seen a grand
Subscribe
total
and
of
join as a member
2
to see more
episodes
Death
of.
Battle.